What's up, guys, and welcome back for another solo mining episode. We're going to be out here Isogen mining today, but we are going to be kind of looking at some of the rocks that are on these anomalies here. So we have all of them up in info window here, and since we are going after Isogen on this mining run, we kind of want to pick units and that have the most Isogen in them, and then kind of work our way down the list. So we've got our prospect out here. We're using crystals. So if you just look really quickly at all of these different things, Kernite is going to be by far our major focus first. So we actually want to do fiery Kernite because it's going to have 132 units in there. So we're going to go ahead and kind of get started mining that one. There's only one rock of fiery Kernite, so we definitely want to try to get all of our, we don't get as much Isogen in our hold as we possibly can. And then obviously we will then, go down to luminous and then regular Kernite. And then as you can see here, it's going to be the Gramir, which is the anomaly we're on. And once we get through all the Gramir, then we can kind of hit the Amber last. But we're going to go ahead and kind of close all these windows so we can kind of see exactly what we're doing. Look back at our ship here. We can kind of keep these Kernites up here if we need to. But as you can see here, there's not a whole lot of rocks on this anomaly, but we should be able to, fill up the prospect pretty easily. And just like anything else, we're going to be looking at local, checking things out. If you're using crystals, you just want to make sure that you're using the right crystals. So, I always just kind of, if I can't remember off the top of my head, then I will just kind of go to the crystal info window, and it'll give all the names of the stuff that works with that crystal, so you don't have any kind of guesswork to go off of there. This golden skin is actually looking pretty good now that this prospect is getting a little dirty. It's kind of tarnished a little bit look. But this is just one of those things where, like, once a week I try to go out and do Isogen. Once a week I try to go out and do Trit, and just kind of hit all the different, like, materials for regular ore mining. And then, have a day for ice mining as well. It's actually really nice to have multiple systems to mine in, because if one system is kind of populated, maybe like ESS things are going on, or you just have a lot of like neutral traffic, or there's just a bunch of people in local, then it's nice to kind of get out into more of an empty system and kind of mine, because it's easier if you have like just yourself or maybe one other person in local. It's a lot easier on at least for me, it's a lot easier on my mind to like kind of track local. If there's a huge list of even blues in local, you're kind of looking for the spot that's not, marked blue for the most part, so it can be a little obnoxious. All right, so yeah, this could be like just a normal mining run. We could bring alts out here, but I'm not really feeling it. My alts are pretty much PI guys for the most part. On occasion will take them out and do more ice with them and stuff, but that's a little bit easier to do because the ice is kind of where the refinery is and where everything needs to kind of be and all of that. All right, there's our first load. Obviously you're not going to have like high inventory estimate here for Kernite, but really we're just after that Isogen. We need to make sure we kind of keep that kind of stockpiled quite a bit. But while we're actually sitting here mining, I want to talk about the Twitch stream a little bit. So for the past few weeks, we've been running the Ajita Undocked stream on Twitch. It's right here. Now, this is a Intel stream, essentially, and it allows you to see exactly what is kind of going on outside of Jita with kill mails and all that stuff. Just something I run 12 hours a day, every day. But what's interesting is actually you can get over here and you can watch this and earn actually earn ISK and stuff. So how that works is you will earn channel points by watching and doing a bunch of other stuff on the channel. There's a reward pack down here for 1 billion ISK for 25,000 channel points. And when you click on this, you'll enter your in-game name, and then that will be sent to you. So that is a good way to like earn some extra ISK, help support the channel, and also get some Jita undock intel and stuff all at the same time. Haven't really talked about it too much in just videos. I just kind of just throw it up there and let it do its thing. But it's just kind of one other thing that we're doing on the channel here, and kind of providing a little bit more variety when it comes to Eve content. Now we'll probably actually, I'm not sure how big this rock is because we don't have a survey scanner, but we're gonna go ahead and see what we can do in terms of, we're gonna sort by closest to us. I don't really want to move too much because we're in a perfect spot where we can cloak if we need to. We can come in a little bit probably. So we're going to play this game where we're going to come in a little bit closer and closer to the anomaly. As long as we're above 2,500 meters from everything, we're good to go. But we're just trying to get in range of, maybe something else. I usually like to queue up my next target because we don't really know when this one's going to go down. But I think we're just going to kind of go with whatever is closest to us and just kind of start clearing that out. Like I said, I don't know how big these rocks are, so we're just going to kind of try to fill this guy up as quickly as possible. I'm probably going to end up doing more of these runs per week because Isogen is just so heavily needed. And it's one of those things that if you're doing manufacturing, you're just always going to need them. And also, it's pretty nice just to come out here. I'm usually in a system by myself, chilling. Sometimes we'll have people pass through and whatnot, but like if we have somebody pass through, then I can come out here and throw this cloak over here and on F4 and just really quick one button kind of hide kind of situation, as long as you kind of keep yourself away from rocks and stuff. But as you can see here, it doesn't take very long to fill up. So after a while, you want to try to mine in like areas where you're close to your refinery or close to a station that can compress, just so you can do more runs with less travel. So for instance, this system will dump into an Athanor and compress at the very end, and then throw it all in the prospect again, and then take it over for long-term storage and all of that. Now also this week, what we got coming up is we're gonna be doing a little bit more of the other anomalies that we haven't shown before. So we're gonna be like traveling a little bit more for that kind of stuff, but we really do need to start getting some of like the other Zydrine and stuff like that, kind of stockpiled as well. Because we kind of have Trit, Pyrite, Mexilon, Isogen kind of on lock. We have a good routine and sources for all that stuff. It's just everything else we need to kind of, work into the daily or the weekly kind of routine. Because we're going to be gearing up towards doing some decent manufacturing. In terms of other updates too, we yesterday we also built another Marshal from doing product discovery and all that good stuff. Yes, I'm still doing product discovery. It's not something I cover really too much on the channel anymore. I did used to stream it a lot, but Gita Undock pretty much is the full-time stream content over there on Twitch. But we did build a Marshal yesterday. We profited on that about 12 billion, and so that was a really nice thing. The other BPOs that we actually have in system are available to us in nullsec are obviously the fuel blocks. Ventures, we've made a few ventures. This is one of those things where like all the things we're sourcing right now, we have access to. We can build a lot of ventures if we wanted to and export them. And we just need a little bit more Isogen in order to do more runs on that. But normally what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll just, see how many runs I can do with the Trit that I have. And then we'll try to come back or go out and mine until we can kind of match that with all the other materials. So like right now, if we work up and we need a little more pyrite, we have the Isogen, we need the Mexilon. We can do about 22 million in venture of value there. The inputs are about 20, and then the outputs about estimated 22 million. But really, it's about turning like materials that are heavy and cumbersome into like something that's potentially usable here in nullsec. Now these ventures will be used as industrial sinos for moving jump raiders around and all of that. So there is people out here buying those. If they can buy them the hulls locally and save themselves on the freight cost out of Jita, then that is something that we can do. And that's kind of our main dump source for a lot of these materials. Nothing else we're doing takes this kind of stuff. I do plan on bringing out more. I do kind of plan on bringing out more BPOs for ship hulls. I just haven't really just settled on what I want to do yet. These shuttle BPOs just take Trit. These are nice too because people who want to just kind of like take a implant set clone, from one place to another fast and effectively and be interdiction bubble kind of nullified, these are great too. And these just take trit. You can, dump any extra trit you have into these. I have not been making these since I brought the BPOs out, but they are an option and something we can do if we need to. And then obviously, like, we have the other parts for the industrial Sino, venture Sino ship, with the exception of the rig. I need to bring the rig BPO out here. I need to actually look at this area, look at the salvage in this area, and see if we're going to be able to do that here. If not, we can import that stuff. But we have all of the BPOs except for that rig to be able to make our own Sinos if we need to. Like, here's the industrial Sino right here. But this takes all the other things too. So we still need Megasite and Zydrine and Noxium and stuff. Decent sources for that stuff, which we're already exploring this week and everything. But other than that, we might be able to fill this entire thing up with Fiery Kernite, which would be pretty awesome, which is really cool. I just want to do a really quick video today kind of showcasing this, keeping you guys kind of updated on what I'm doing out here in Nullsec, and just kind of like letting you know how I've been sourcing a lot of the materials and stuff and what my recommendations are. Now, I own a Rorqual, I own Machinols, I own Hulks. I have the ability to take multiple boost ship and alts out, but I usually don't, mainly because of my own personal motivation. I've kind of been there, done that kind of on that. If I down the road get kind of tired of the prospect endurance, then I'll probably go back to drag mining with the Rorqual, which would basically be me and the Rorqual with like 4 alts or something, and just kind of dragging through and just doing a massive amount of mining like 1 or 2 times a week. But I like to play and like to change up my scenery a little bit. So the Expedition frigate's been really great because every day I can get on, I can go to a different system, kind of mine something different, and it keeps a little bit of variance going on because my main focus is PI and all that. So once I get all my PI done, I can kind of explore and do ore mining and kind of change it up a bit and all of that. All right, we're about to finish another cycle here. We probably have like one more cycle after this one, but I don't want this video to run too long. So we're going to see where we're at once this is done. But like I said, if you want to support the channel, if you enjoy the content, hit the Patreon page. We're putting up stuff over there very frequently. And actually this month, starting on today, April 1st, I will be tracking all of the things we're building here in Nullsec. And at the end of the month, we'll look at how much ISK value we've actually generated, and all of that's going to be logged in kind of a diary form on Patreon. And Patreon's my preferred way if you want to support the channel. And obviously, like I already talked about, the G-John Jock stream, that's live in 12-hour blocks every single day, and you can earn ISK through channel points with that. And then obviously, just the solo mining stuff and general EVE content here on the YouTube channel and all of that. We're almost done. I think we got like half a cycle on this guy, and we're going to cut it, and we should be pretty good. But it gives you a good idea, and also to give you a fit idea, just to kind of close out this video, we are doing about 8.3 cubic meters a second per laser here. Let's go look at the fit real quick. It's more of a yield stick for the most part. We've got mining laser upgrade 2s in the lows, and that's powered by small processing overclock unit 1s. And then we have our prop mod 1mm afterburner 2 and our covert cloak, and then obviously our modulated deep core strip miner 2s with our coherence. And also we're carrying all the other crystals as well too. I usually only keep like 2 of each in here, just to kind of if we roll up on something that we want to mine, we can switch that crystal set and take it down. So let's see, we're going to go ahead and kill these lasers here. Yep, and that is it. We are done. So I appreciate you guys for watching and all of that. A lot more content coming down the road, so keep an eye out and hit the like button on this video, hit the subscribe button to get notified, join our Discord also to get notified when new content goes live, and ask questions or whatever, connect with me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.